Yes, good evening, all of you, and welcome in this session. And today we are going to cover what is control flow in MATLAB. So the control flow refers to the mechanism and that determine the order in each your code executes, and it allows you to control the program's path based on the conditions and loops, making it more flexible and adaptable. There are some key element of the control flow in MATLAB. So here, like conditional statement, what are the conditional statement? These statement decide which block of the code need to be executed based on the certain condition, and the most common are like if statement, switch statement. Okay, so and then we have the loop statement. This statement repeat a block of the code multiple times. Sometimes we need to repeat one task again and again. In that case, we are using loop. So loops are two types, very familiar, like for loop and while loop. Jump statement are there, break are there, control flow subsystem is there. So all these will help us to control the workflow of the programming. And now I would like to share the screen so that everything we can discuss one by one. Okay. So now I think you can see my MATLAB window. This is my MATLAB window. Okay. And to reduce the time, corresponding to each condition statements or control statements, few examples I will present here, but corresponding to all these, some more examples will be provided, and you can do experiment on this. Okay, so various statements has been, a script file has been created so that you can easily familiar by providing several examples. So here one by one we will discuss, and according to that we will run our code and we will verify. So the very first we have is what is control flow. Is I explained in the beginning, control flow in MATLAB refers to the order in which the statement of the program are executed, and MATLAB provide various control flow statement that allows you to make decision, repeat task, and control the flow of execution. Okay, that's why we need, and corresponding to all this we will present several examples. So here the main types of the control statement are, first we are covering the conditional statement. Okay, so here which are based on if, else if, else, if else. Okay, so here is very first example is if and statement. Okay, and everything corresponding to these statement description I have provided here, what is the meaning and when you need to use. So this statement is based on one condition and the code to execute if the condition is true. So when you will apply this if condition, okay, if the condition is true, only then the code will execute. Okay, so the condition must be true, the code will be executed. If the condition is not true, the code will not execute. So the syntax for the same. So here after that, corresponding to each statement or control statement, there is a syntax which you will use, or how we can assign the condition. Okay, so if, then we will write after space condition. At this place we will put our condition, what type of condition we can do or we can execute, which type of condition must be satisfied. So at this place we have the condition which will be defined. Okay, if this condition is satisfied or true, then the code which will be on the next line or next statement. So at this place there will be one line code, or there will be 2 line, 3 line statement, depend upon our requirement. Okay, so this part of the statement will be executed only if the condition which you apply at this place is true. Okay, if this condition is not true, then this part will not be executed. So this is only one condition based conditional statement. Okay, now here is the example. See here, so this is our condition, this is our condition, and you can apply any condition according to your requirement. Okay, and if this condition is true, then after we have some code that will be at this place. Okay, so here we just want to display the value if the condition is true or corresponding to true and false. Okay, and when you will will apply the condition, then that will also be closed by using and. Keep in mind. So in the along with the if, there will be condition, and here will be the statement. So here we are choosing the value x is equal to 5. Okay, and we know x is equal to 5, but here x is less than 5. So when you will execute this set of statement, and you know this is the section, so we want to execute only this section. Okay, you need to click at this place and see there is no answer. Why? Because the condition is not satisfied. Here is x must be less than 5. Only then this statement will be executed. But here we have x is equal to 5. It means 5 is equal to 5, but 5 cannot be less than 5. So the statement is not true. And whenever you will execute, there is, you can see I am pressing this sign, but there is no returning value because the condition is not true. If I change this value, and I am choosing here is 4. Now the condition is true. This condition is true, and when I will execute this sequence of statement, the corresponding this value will be also executed. Now check it again. I am pressing at the same icon to run the code, and you can see we have x is less than 5, and in the next statement I want to put print the value which we have assigned at this place. The value we assigned for x is equal to 4. Okay, so this condition is true. This statement will be executed. If you will change this value, suppose it is 1.444. Okay, and again check it. Since the condition is true, that's why these statements are executed. I think in this explanation there is no doubt. If you have doubt, you can raise your hand. Okay, so first listen me, and then all type of examples I have introduced, and all will help you. Just you need to understand how we can manipulate. So now next we have if else and statement. Now the thing is, we want to execute the code or the statement whether the condition is true or false. Okay, for both. So use for both true and false conditions. So how we can manage? Because when the condition is true, the statement will be different, and if the condition is false, then we have the other result, and according to that we can manipulate. See first the syntax. Yes, so this is the first one, and now we have the second one. Yes, this is the syntax. So here we have the first condition. If this first condition is true or satisfied, then the code will be just after the condition will be executed, and I have described here the code to execute if the condition is true. Okay, but if the condition is not true, the condition is failed at this place, this code will not be executed. Then else, except this condition, the other part, whatever we want to execute. So in the second, when we are using at this place else, the other part which you will assign, which you will put at this place, or which you want to execute, that will be at this place. If the condition is not true at this place, then this part will be executed for false statement. So this part will be executed only when the condition is true, and this part will be executed only if the condition is false. Okay, and we have to end the statement. So see if condition, else, and end. The if else condition, see at this place if else and. These are three part of the statement which when you will use this one. Now the example how we can use for our task, our performance, for our problems. Okay, and these will help you to write many things, and very important but interesting. But without using, not possible to write the programs. So by using all these statements, we can easily control the workflow of our programming. See here, we have this condition if x is greater than 10. If x is greater than 10 and the condition is true, then we have this statement y is equal to x. You can choose at the place any function. Okay, whatever you have, but here just I want to print the value. We have y equal to x. Okay, later on you can change this one, just like you can change take at this place some function. Okay, depends upon you. You can multiply it with the exponential function. Okay, yes, and then display the resulted value of y. This will convert in string. Okay, and then else. See else, if the condition is not true, then this part will not be executed, and for the first statement this information must be displayed if the condition is not true, and then end. So this is the part of the sequence of a statement to implement if, else, and statement. Okay, and see here we are assigning the value which is x is equal to 10, and we know 10 cannot be greater than 10. And see what happen. X not satisfying the condition. Okay, if you are taking at its place 0.1 and check it, now the condition is true. The condition is true, and the value pass through this one, and after simplifying this value we have this result. The value which is x is equal to 10.1 will pass through this function, and after computing the value by using this statement has been displayed in your command window. Okay, and if the condition is not true, if the condition is not true, then this part will be executed. Okay, x is not satisfying the condition. So if you want to apply the condition for true statement as well as false statement, then you can easily manipulate or manage the flow of the programming by using in this manner. Any question? Any question, please? Yes, someone is asking what is num to string. This will convert the numerical value into string. Okay, so the text which you can see at this place, all these are strings. Okay, but here we want to print this numerical value which will be computed by using this statement with these text which are appeared in this way. Okay, and this will be possible only if we have the same character. Okay, so if these are string, we have to convert this numerical value into string. So now we can easily convert every numerical value, whether it is an integer, a rational number. Okay, we can convert them in a string by using this function num to string. Okay, and we want to convert y, and where is y? This value will be computed after giving this value. Okay, so for each time the value will be different corresponding to this function. If you are taking at its place, this is 15. Okay, so this value corresponding to this value, this statement is now true. Okay, if this value statement is true, then this statement will be executed. This code will be executed, and the value which we put at this place will pass through this function, and the value will be updated. And this value is now numerical value. Along with we want to print this value. For the print this value, we are using display function. Okay, so see this part also very carefully how you can display the result. So a resulted value of y is, and then this value will convert into string. Okay, so the entire this is group of string and will print in the command window. See here. Okay, so resulted value of y is, okay, and then we have this one. If you are not using this statement, if you are not using this one, and you can use here only display y. Okay, and then see we have only value at this place. Okay, so if you are using in this manner, then we have what is y. Okay, and y is the resulted value of this function. So this information will be printed as we want to tell something. MATLAB will tell the information which will be based on the output of this statement. Now we have one more example that is also based on if, else, and quite simple. So this is the first condition. You can change it also. You can change. We will make change later on. So if x is greater than 5, this statement will be executed. If x is not greater than 5, then this statement will be executed. Or you can assign at this place the functions of x depend upon your requirement. But simply I put the single statement so that you can easily understand how you can manage these conditions. Okay, and when you will execute, you can see x is less than or equal to 5 because we choose at this place x equal to 1. If you have x is equal to 6, now the condition is true. The condition is true, then this statement will be executed. See, x is greater than 5. If you have x is equal to 5, now the 5 cannot be greater than 5. Condition is false. This statement will be executed. So as you want, the code must be follow your instructions. That's why we need these control statement. Very simple. But you have to understand this simple syntax, how you all type of control statement, how you can implement. And here we are providing several examples. Okay, some more examples will be uploaded which you will try yourself. So corresponding to each control statement, there are at least 10 examples are given in a different manner so that you can perfectly understand all these control statements. And usually for the mathematicians, these control statements we are not follow, and we are not sometimes due to the skip or not proper examples, we are not able to use them in the programming perfectly. Okay, but if you will follow all these instructions which I provide in this lecture, and as well as the previous two lectures, all these are essential MATLAB for this ongoing course, which will be start. Okay, but right now we are just talking about the essentials, MATLAB essentials, which is required for our this numerical methods for partial differential equations. So here you can see 1.3, very interesting and very useful. See, here is if, else if and statement, and used when more than one condition. In the above examples, we have only one condition, but now sometimes you have two condition, you have three condition, you have more than three condition, whatever you have. So according to those condition, you want to write your program and how you can use. See, so here this is the syntax. If this is the condition one, if you at this place you will apply the first condition, and if this condition is true, if the condition is true, then this code will be executed for condition one is true. If then if this condition is not true, we have another condition. The code MATLAB will check next condition. What next condition is given? So if this condition is fail, then we will use next condition. Else if for the next condition, this is condition number 2, you will apply at this place second condition. If this condition is true, then the code to execute if condition 2 is true. Okay. If the condition first is not true, condition second is also not true, then we have one more condition. Okay, else if we will apply at this place third condition. Okay, so this third condition will be checked only if first two conditions are not true. Okay, if these two conditions, first condition is not true, then second condition will be verified or will be checked. If second is also not true, then cursor will be jumped to this condition, or MATLAB check the next condition. Okay, so this condition, if this condition is true, then the corresponding statement will be executed. Okay, if condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, all these three conditions are not true, and you have three conditions, then we have one more information about the given problem, and then we will use else. Okay, so for the other part, beyond these conditions, beyond these three conditions, if you have the other part which will be universal for the accept these three conditions. Okay, so for that this code will be execute. Okay, code to execute if both conditions are false, but we here we will write all the above conditions are false. Here is all the above conditions are false, then this part will be executed. So at this place you can have 2 condition, 3 condition, 4 condition, 5 condition, 10 conditions, 100 condition, whatever you have, depend upon your program. Okay, and if all these conditions are false, then this part will be executed. So now we will check here one more example. Here is example number 4. Okay, so here we write this code for only 2 conditions. So check it very carefully, and examples which we try to put at this place are based on some mathematical inequalities. Okay, and here x is the first we will check the conditions. This is the first condition, this is the second condition. Okay, so if the condition is x is greater than 10, if this condition is true, only then this condition will be executed. If the condition is not true, then this will check the next condition, and the next condition we have is this part. This is the next condition. Okay, If this condition is true, second condition is true, only then this condition will be executed. Okay. And if this condition is also false or not true, then this part will be executed. So now we will check all these three parts, both of the conditions. See carefully. So here the value of x is 11. So this condition is true. X is greater than 10, and when you will execute, you can check it. X is greater than, so this statement is executed. Now if you will choose at its place 5, sorry, we will take at its place 10. Now 10 cannot be greater than 10, 10 cannot be greater than 10, so this condition is not true. Okay, but 10 is greater than 5, this second condition is true. Okay, if x is greater than 5 but not greater than 10, it means x is equal to 10 or less than 10. Okay, but greater than 5, so this result, x is greater than 5 but less than or equal to 10. This message will be displayed. See, x is greater than 5 but less than or equal to 10. Okay, so you need to think about the statement as well. How these statements are working. The writing the code is different thing, but thinking about the code is very important. How you are manipulating, how the values are changing. Okay, so this is a very important part. And if you want to introduce one more condition, you can introduce at its place as if. I am taking at its place as if. Okay, and also you need to, we are making at its place 0. We take it at its place 0. Okay, as if, and then at its place we will enter. I'm copying from this place and paste here. X is greater than 0 and here is 5. Okay. So if you will check the value for 5 here, if you will take 5 and run the code. So see here, x is greater than 0 but less than or equal to 5. The meaning is that here we have three conditions, 1, 2 and 3. So if the first condition is fail, it will check a second condition. If second condition is true, the code will be executed. If second condition is false, it will go to the next condition. So in this way, you can extend and you can apply different conditions. Okay. So now we have three conditions, and if these three conditions are not true, then this statement will be executed. But here we check for all the values which are x greater than 0. Okay. So the other part we have is those values which are either less than 0 or equal to 0. Now check it for 0 also and execute it. Okay, x is less than or equal to 0. So the meaning of this statement, which statement for the given particular condition you want to execute. So in this way, by using this statement, you can control the workflow of the code according to your desire, according to your requirement. Okay, so these are the just instructions to give the MATLAB to control the statement or your inputs. Okay, so MATLAB will follow all these instructions which you will provide at this place. Any question, please? Any question? Someone is asking about more concentration on numerical method with MATLAB coding and coding for the generating graphs. Yes, Srinivas, all these will be there. Okay, and this complete entire course is for numerical methods and visualization their results. But this part which we present 3 sessions, these are the essential, because once you will cover all these. Okay, and today is the last session on this control graphical part, whether it is covered or not, but we can parallelly cover the graphical part, okay, visualization part. But these will help you when we will write the code for numerical method. Some are simple, but sometimes we have to apply the conditions, and without applying the conditions, when we have the long program and we need control flow, and for the control flow we have to use this statement, and it is required. Okay, without all this, we will not be able to control the workflow of the programming. Okay, so only that essential part which is required for our course we are covering. So today is the third day, and in the coming session we will start our numerical part. Don't worry. Okay, yes. So here we have some more example. Okay, you can check it, and based on if, else if and else if. But here some are functions are there. If x is greater than 0, y must be equal to x square, and this will return the value corresponding. Sometimes we have piecewise continuous function, okay, or on the based on some conditions we have function. So you can write these functions by using these conditions. If x is greater than 10, then we have y is equal to x squared, and if we have x is greater than 5, then we have y is equal to x cube. If x is greater than 1, then we have y is equal to x plus 1, okay, and then we have y is equal to cos x for else, for the other part, other conditions, for the other values, okay. So you can easily manipulate according to these values. So sometimes we have the value for the x which is varies from 0 to 10 or 0 to 20 or 0 to 50. So according to these conditions, automatically these functions will work, okay. For the when x will be greater than 10, for all the values 10 to 50, this function will execute, and for the value which are greater than 5 but less than 10, then this function will work. And similarly, if the value of x is greater than 1 but less than or equal to 5, this function will float, okay. So all these are piecewise continuous functions, and sometimes if you need to plot, then you can use in this way, and you can easily check all these by executing the this section. Press at this place, yes. So here where the value is x equal to 10 and the condition is true at this place, the condition is true at this place, first condition is false, second is true, and y equal to 10 raised to power 3 1000. If you are making at this place, this is 12, sorry, we will take at this place, this value is 5, you can take it 5, so this is 6, okay. Where the condition is satisfied, the condition is true at this place, x is greater than 5, and at this place we have x is greater than 5, but here x is greater than 1, so this condition is not true, this condition is true, that's why 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. And then we have loop. These will help you in many ways to find out different type of solutions when we want to execute one task or we want to repeat, then for loop and while loop. So mostly we will use for loop in our problems, okay. So how you can use this for loop? What is for loop? For loop repeats a group of statement fixed, predetermined and number of times, okay, and this is the corresponding syntax to for the for loop. So here for, then we will use at a place index, and we will assign at a place starting value and the end value or the last value. So these values will be fixed, and corresponding to this we have the code at this place, and then end. So when you will use this for loop, you need to end also, okay. And here is the another way for the above, for variable, and here is range, okay, and code to execute in each iteration. See the example now. So either you can use in this form or in this form for loop. Mostly we are using in this format. Check the example number 5. Here is for, this is the index, and we want to execute this I for 1 to 15, and then we are displaying at this place, okay, display I. Check it, very simple code I present here, okay. And when you will execute this section, we have the values from, you can check 1 to 15, okay. If you are making change at this place, suppose it is 5, and then execute, we have only the 5 values. So this is the very simplest way to create the concept how you will write the code. Only see the first statement and the end, and here is the your input which you want to execute for your problem. And here is one more example or the extension of the above. See, here we can use n is equal to 100, initialize the sum of the variable, okay. So here we have 1 2 3 up to n is some natural number, and we want to find out the sum of these numbers, and how you can use this for loop, okay. So note this these statement very carefully, how this will work. First run it, we have this value, and how this value was calculated, okay. So here the loop, the initial value we are assigned at this place is 0, this is required, okay, but our the values are starting from 1 because this is the sum of the natural number, okay. 1 plus 2 plus 3 and so on up to n, and n is equal to we have is 100. So initial value is required, that is 0, okay. Sum series, so when we have I is equal to 1, when we have I is equal to 1, then 1 plus 0, this value is 0, 0 plus 1 will be added and will store at this place, okay. This value will be returned to at this place for the next value when we will have I is equal to 2. So now we have the updated value at this place we have is 1, which will be return at this place for the next value when we have is I is equal to 2. So this value is 1 and I is 2. 1 plus 2 we have is 3 and this value will be updated and so on. This for loop will work until we have I is equal to 100 and now you can check it. Yes, if you have at this place 1, here is only 1 plus 0 1. Okay, if you are taking at this plus 2, then this will return 3 because this task performed for 2 times, 1 for I is equal to 1 and when you will have I is equal to 1 plus 0 1 store at this place and when it will take 2, then 1 plus 2 we have is 3. So in this way this for loop will work and you can extend for the other values. Okay, so this is the for loop and there we have while loop. Here is while loop. Rarely we will use in mathematics, but I have introduced here. If someone is working on other programming part like image processing, machine learning, then this loop is also required. So a while loop repeat a group of statement as long as the condition is true. Okay, in the for loop we have fixed value. These values are fixed. Range is fixed. Okay, the statement we want to execute for fixed and predetermined number of times. But in the case of for loop, we have is this loop will work until the condition is true. Okay, so this is the syntax which we will use for the for loop. While at this place we will apply the condition and according to this condition this part will execute only if the condition is true. As well as the condition is false, the loop will stop automatically. And you can check here the example. Okay, so here is the example. If while x is less than 10, display and x is equal to x plus 1 and we are starting x equal to 1 from x equal to 1. See now, okay, so until the value of x is less than 10 the loop will work. So 10 cannot be less than 10, 9 is less than 10, so the last value you can see we have is 9. So it started from 1 is true, then 2 is true, 3 is true, 4 is true until we have x is 9. When you have x is 9 this statement is true as well as for the next value it becomes 10 but the condition is failed, stopped. Okay, so in this way you can use these statements and this is the entire which are required for our programming only. If you want to go through more detail about the switch statement and the other statements are given, the examples are given here, you can easily go through all these statements if you want to. Okay, but basically for our requirement for this partial differential equation, okay, up to this sixth example enough. Okay, so if else if and loops only these are required. So this is all about the today's session which is essential for our course. If there is any question please feel free to ask from me. Loop and for loop, then the above statements, conditional statements. Okay, for each there are 10 examples are given corresponding to each statement. Okay, conditional statement. So all those files will be uploaded, but the basic information about all this we discuss here. So all the content along with some more examples and this file will be uploaded after this session for your own practice. If now you have any question, please feel free to ask from me. Yes, please, any question? Any question, please? Or any difficulty which you are facing? Everyone is silent. Deepak Kumar, Sima Mandal, any question, any problem? Kuldeep?
No, sir.
No. And there is one participant from Morocco, and I think you joined today only. First two lectures you have skipped. Okay. Can you please unmute? Your name is Lassen. I am asking from the participant from Morocco. Can you please unmute your mic? And I think yesterday and the first lecture you skipped.
Yes, sir. Yes, it's clear.
Yeah, everything is
Thanks.
clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first lecture and second lecture, we organize 3 lectures for the MATLAB essential for this course. Okay, because there are several participants who are not familiar about the MATLAB. So basic for this we need 3 sessions, and today we cover about the control statements, and in the first only the basics we cover in the first 2 lectures. Okay, so the coming session we will start with the numerical methods for partial differential equations, and you must be very familiar about all these files which I have uploaded for you, and you must play with this code, understand. This will help you to understand the coming sessions. Okay, so everything is important for the beginners, and there are some intermediate and some are expert. So the people who are expert, they can skip this first sector and second and third lecture. So this is all about today's session, and for the next session I will update you. We will organize on the lecture will be held on Saturday, Sunday and Monday. So enjoy these 2 days and cover all these content which we present in during the first 3 days. Any more question, please? Are you able to log in your account to access the content which we are uploading in your account?
Yeah, yes.
Great. So always feel free to approach me or contact us anytime. Okay. And all of you during the
Okay,
session are
thank you very
permitted to unmute your mic.
much.
Yes,
Thank you very
please.
much. Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all of you, and good night from India. But in Morocco, I think there is evening time, afternoon. Sorry, what is time at your place?
Is 30,
I think 5.5 hour difference from Morocco.
yeah, five.
Okay,
Mostly.
okay. Which is your university?
Yeah,
I want to
university.
know about your institute.
Yes, Sidi Mohammed bin Abdullah.
Okay, you know about Professor Jakia Hemouts?
Yes, our
Okay.
professor. Another city.
Okay. Say him my message, convey my message. Good evening. Salam from India. Okay. Ask her
Okay,
salam alaikum.
okay.
He is my collaborator in several papers, and we are working together. So
Yes,
convey my message. Yeah. Thank
the
you.
connection is okay.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
thank you.
Yeah. And in 2018, I visited in Morocco in her institute.
You are welcome, sir. You are welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you and good evening, all of you. So we will update regarding the upcoming session. So during that time, you need to cover all this content so that this will help you. Thank you. Good night.